Today on the Topping Show, Rosie O'Donnell talks to squirrels in a viral response regarding the Supreme Court's Trump ruling. Tennessee law now allows the death penalty for child abusers. Elon fact check on Kamala Harris tweet regarding Trump's alleged abortion ban. Biden-Harris campaign raised $264 million in Q2. California police arrest man for simply eating a sandwich. Canadian Pride Parade had naked adults in front of children. Salesforce shareholders vote against the CEO's pay plan. Burnout on the Pride Street mural is now charged with a felony as an 18-year-old boy is arrested. BYD car sales increased by 21%. Cybertruck durability video goes viral. And Costco sells a class action lawsuit for flushable wipes. All of that and much, much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. You can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, sell our fun promo, free 50 caliber musket or flintlock pistol with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn a little bit more. Also, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Salesforce shareholders voting against the CEO's compensation plan. Shocking a few. Now this is brought to us thanks to CNBC. Specifically is Jordan Ovett, who's writing over there. They say, quote, Salesforce shareholders rejects compensation plan for CEO Mark Burnout and other top executives. So, interestingly enough, the stock hasn't been doing too terribly. Kind of to zoom out on that. 5 years, it's up. It's currently trading for $257.13 per share. Now, again, Salesforce is far and none the most popular CRM or customer relationship management platform, software as a service, and it's much easier to keep track of your sales, especially if you have long-term sales cycles. One of the most popular options out there, I know there's like 18 people who love Microsoft Dynamics, and there are other competitors, but they're really the industry leader, and they have the biggest market share. Again, it's currently trading for $257.13 per share. Past year, they've gone up a little bit, about 13.37%. Year to date, about break even, they're down by 0.33%. Past 30 days, up 7.89%. Last week, up 5.61%. So not doing terrible. Now again, looking at the 5-year trend, they had that huge peak during the pandemic. They peaked at $309.96 per share. They've certainly had their hills and valleys, so to say. But going down to the actual nuances of the board offering, they say that the Salesforce investors declined to approve the compensation for his salaries, defying the board recommendation. Shareholder advisory firms expressed concerns about a second equity award to CEO Mark Burnout received in January. Vote is non-binding. There you see the Salesforce CEO, and he's also one of the co-founders of the company. They say specifically, quote, according to regulatory filing, the resolution to approve the compensation received 339.3 million votes in favor and 404.8 million votes against, which means he won unanimously because, 404 not found. Well, little IT joke for the folks out there. Appreciate that, hopefully. Now, vote was taking place during their annual shareholder meeting last Thursday. The board had urged shareholders to vote in favor of the resolution, but two shareholder advisory firms, Glass Lewis and Institutional Shareholder Services, both recommended that investors vote down the measure. For the 2024 fiscal year, Burnout received $39.6 million in total pay, up from $29.9 million a year prior, while Burnout's salary was a flat $1.55 million, which I'm pretty sure that's like $85 after California and federal income tax. Again, California's like 13.3% income tax. Is disgusting and viscerally, mentally, and morally vacuous, in my opinion. But nevertheless, he loves living in San Francisco. He'll never leave. They say that even though he only got $1.55 million for base salary, he received an additional stock and options award and non-equity incentive plan compensation, according to a proxy statement. The most recent sum also included increased security fees that had not been previously invoiced to the company, which, again, you're living in San Francisco. He probably needs his own private army. Because, again, it's San Francisco. It's so morally and culturally deprived. They're literally, I don't know why, this just blows my mind in terms of the city not fixing anything. There's so many humans defecating in the streets. They instead of solving the problem, they just create an app for your phone. And in theory, if you saw the feces, you mark it on the app and you'd avoid that area. But it wasn't long before the whole city, or shitty, some might say, was just a giant brown spot on your phone because there's so much of it. Now, I should also clarify, they cleaned up the city twice. One when China visited, or as Trump might say, China. And then the other time was when they had the Salesforce, they call it the Dreamforce, their giant event where all the customers, vendors all go visit. So the city does have the ability to clean. Sometimes they just, in my opinion, they don't have the political will to do so. Again, if you solve a problem, you can't raise money on it or keep increasing the billions that they pretend to wisely use spending on the homeless problem, which they've never solved. Now, they say that also in January, the board's compensation committee gave Burnout a second long-term equity award north of $20 million in recognition of the company's successful transformation actions and strong financial performance in the fiscal year. Now, in terms of how the stock's been doing, they know that net income had jumped to $4.1 billion in the fiscal year from $208 million a year earlier, which is insanely good. While revenue increased 11% to $34.9 billion, up from $31.4 billion. Now, they also had some bad news. They said in January 2023, the company announced 10% layoff of employees. And they note that some people are concerned about being off, stake in the company. Granted, he's also one of the original founders. There's 3, I believe. And they say that he has 2% of the company, which is not a lot in terms of, it's a lot, to you and me, because again, when it translates to, if you were to sell it today, which again, he couldn't really, because the more he sells, the lower the price of the stock would go. But that's worth, at the current market value, about $6 billion. Now, granted, he's also been in the company since its inception, so I don't think, in terms of him leaving the company, I don't think there's a high propensity for that to happen. It'll be interesting to see what the ramifications could possibly be and where he might change his time resource allocation. There's again, there's competition for Salesforce. It's also a premium product. It's a little bit more difficult to people to sell these days in terms of trying to find net new logos or net new businesses to adopt their technology platform. But it's also very sticky in terms of it's a pain in the rear to move your data from one CRM to another. Don't get me wrong, it can be done, like most things in life, just takes time, energy, and resources. But they have a very high renewal rate when it comes to their software. And shoot, I use it. It's really good, even if I don't agree with what a lot of the company does in terms of their extracurricular activities or their political statements, all that kind of stuff. It's darn good software. A little bit premium, obviously, but easy to use and very efficient once you know how to use it. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, it's a tough economic uncertainty this year, political uncertainty. If you're a business looking for a new CRM, maybe you'll look at something like Microsoft Dynamics or HubSpot or one of the other alternatives. But let me know in the comments. Have you ever heard of Salesforce? Do you think they'll actually, increase their sales this year even more? Or do you think what do you think the future holds for Salesforce? Again, not financial advice, but as always, be interested and love to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have BYD car sales increased by 21%. As some might say, the Red Dragon is awoken, or the Panda, something to that effect. But they are China's largest EV manufacturer. Now, they also, I believe, make hybrids as well, which is why there's a little point of contingency when you're comparing their numbers to Tesla's numbers, where Tesla is 100% EV. But make no mistake, they are going exponentially. And this is brought to us thanks to the OG news network, Yahoo Finance, which, fun business fact, Yahoo could have sold for like 40 or $44 billion to Microsoft? Or was it Google? And they said, no, we think we're worth more. And subsequently, they were sold to Verizon for like $4 billion. Timing is half of everything in life. Never forget. Now, specifically, this writer goes by the name of, let's see here. Oh, that's pretty rude. They did not post her name. It's a repost by Reuters. Nevertheless, this website's better. Or for nostalgia, I suppose. A little disappointed there's no cool graphic for you. Nevertheless, going down here, they say China's BYD post 21% jump in quarterly EV sales, closing the gap with Tesla. Now, they note that specifically BYD sold 426,039 EVs in the April to June fiscal quarter. According to Reuters, the calculation is based on monthly sales reports. That's almost 18,000 vehicles fewer than Tesla vehicle deliveries for the second quarter, but far closer than the old gap of 86,000. Now, they also note that Tesla's second quarter deliveries fell by a smaller than expected 4.8% to 443,956 vehicles. But that is still marked as the first time in the U.S. the firm posted 2 straight quarters of decline as it deals with stiff competition in China and slow demand and a lack of affordable new EV models, which, yep, it's the adoption rate in the U.S. is decreasing, perhaps because people want a disposable car that they can't work on themselves or that will not last 10 to 30 years like a good old ICE engine. But nevertheless, They note that Tesla's China-made EV sales in June fell 24.2% from a year earlier to 71,700, according to data from the China Passenger Car Association, which also extended to a year-over-year decline for a third month. Which, yep, yeah, I'm not sure how much longer Tesla can survive in China. But again, BYD is the probably the most largest well-known company now in terms of people know about in terms of anecdotal name a company that makes cars in China, and they're just growing everywhere. Now, really, the only thing stopping BYD from taking over the planet right now, realistically, for car sales, is massive government tariffs. The Biden administration, I think, slapped on a 100% tariff, even though he did critique Trump for tariffs and said they're terrible and evil. But nevertheless, France is also, I believe, following, and other countries as well. That being said, BYD is going to start, well, they already are starting producing cars in Mexico with Mexican subsidiaries and plants to avoid tariffs from North America. And you can't beat China with price point. And they're darn proficient at copy pasting technology and making it cheaper. It's notorious. It's just what they do. Not great for innovation, but in terms of copy pasting, maybe adding one or two things, yeah, and then you can't beat that price point. There's some countries that really want cheap EVs. This is going to be the solution. So Tesla can't beat them on price. You'd argue the features and the technology. But for some folks, that might not be enough to keep paying a premium for Tesla. So, I mean, we're seeing BYD increase their sales more and more and more. I don't see what's going to stop them. Maybe the tariffs a little. But let me know in the comments. It seems like they're growing exponentially. But as I always say, time shall tell. Other interesting business news, you have a Cybertruck durability video going viral on X Twitter. Now, this is appropriately brought to us thanks to Elon's tweet, where he looks like he's retweeting for Tesla owners Silicon Valley. And he says, quote, "Other trucks look badass, Cybertruck actually is." I think we have some rudimentary music, which we have to mute in a second. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we'll mute that. You can listen to me describe it. So, gentleman's hitting it with a baseball bat, throwing a plant at it, a brick, a bowling ball. Hitting it with what the heck is that, an axe? Hitting it with a chisel, although it looks like he's hitting it with the effort of like an anemic child. Like he's hitting that chisel with no effort. Still hasn't made much of a dent in the door though. Someone is trying to, that's the dumbest. That's pretty weak. Someone took a saw and tried to just scrape the door. Where I don't know how much pressure they can't be putting much pressure on. What is this other person going to do? Hits it with another sledgehammer? Alright. Crowbar? Alright. Pickaxe? Going old school. Okay, that's at least some funny marketing. You have the old, not a flamethrower being used, which is a glorified roof torch. But nevertheless, that's good marketing. Throwback to the Boring Company. What else are they going to do to it? What? Using one of those vibrating things? A Ryobi. That's not great marketing. They're going to get made fun of for that for sure. And then now they're going to shoot it with a pistol. Is it 22 or what is it? A9. What is that? Is that a Ruger? Or is it? I'll say small caliber. It's going to be either 22 or 9mm. I want to say it's a 2245 light, maybe. But nevertheless, shooting the door. Oh, terrible music. Close as worse as Taylor Swift. That's saying something. Bullet does not go through. Gets stopped a couple times. Now that's for sure 9mm. That's a double stack. There we go. Shooting that a couple times. No penetration. There we go. Back to someone else hitting it with a bat. It must be oh no, that's just a repeat. So some might say it is Chicago tough or Chicago approved. But again, it's small arms. It's not going to stop something fast like a 223 5.56 round. So it's not military grade yet. It'll be hilarious to see if Elon just slaps on some armor and goes for more military contracts. It already looks like it's out of the Halo video game. But yeah, pretty darn near. I mean, I was going to say darn near bulletproof. In some calibers, very bulletproof, or more accurately term industry, bullet resistant, because no such thing as anything that's really bulletproof to a certain extent. This isn't the Beast, the presidential limo or anything by any means. Went pretty well. Got 129.1 million views and 515,000 likes, which, again, that's one of the things that Elon does better than any other entrepreneur or automotive company. Can you think of a single video of like a General Motors product or a Ford truck that would get this many views? I mean, there are some enthusiasts who do the off-roading and do the Baja stuff. They get a couple 100,000, maybe 1 or 2 million, but 150 plus million views. And granted, I'm by no means saying there's a 100% correlation. Everyone who's going to see this is going to go out and buy one. But for word of mouth, I mean, got me talking about it. I'm telling my friends about it. I mean, it's a hilarious, interesting novelty because, again, you really don't see a lot of companies doing durability tests. The last one I can remember is when Ford started to come out with the F-150 aluminum. So they started to make the truck out of aluminum because rule of thumb for automotive industry is every 1% of weight that you can decrease in a vehicle, 1%, 100 pounds removed from the vehicle is about a 1% increase in fuel efficiency, which is one of the reasons why Ford started to make a lot of the trucks with mostly aluminum components. And in that case, you had the Ford truck with the Chevy truck, and Chevy had someone drop a toolbox in the Ford truck and it punctured the bed, and the Chevy didn't. The Chevy's bed was made of steel, so that was a selling point. Granted, the Ford truck did not have a bed liner, which I would want to say 99% of truck owners throw one of those bed liners in pretty quick right off the bat. But when it comes to, kind of fun, novelty, durability advertisements, you really don't see them too much these days. But yeah, so to me, I think it's kind of brilliant. Granted, I mean, I would never want one, but I take that back. If I ever had copious amounts of capital, or if I, won the lottery, I would love to get a Cybertruck, and call me crazy. I'd love to get a Cybertruck and do an engine swap. So get a Toyota Tacoma drivetrain, because that's the only truck you can get in North America with a stick shift. No, the Jeep Gladiator does not count. I'm going to beat that in the comments right now. So the Toyota Tacoma pickup truck, take the body off, keep the drivetrain, keep that nice engine transmission, and then you take the Cybertruck body, slam that thing on there, you get the cool aesthetics and the bullet-resistant capabilities of the Cybertruck, but you get to actually smile when you drive it because it's got 3 pedals like manual transmission, as I would argue all cars and trucks should have by default. But I partially digress. If I'm ever part of that crazy club of having more money than you know what to do with, that's something I would certainly do. Going down some of the top comments, Planet of Memes, I want to say they get F- this week, but they're like, what, 3 for 12? Like, this is not a meme. Yet they call themselves the Planet of Memes. I almost have to say this alleged Planet of Memes. So they say, quote, it looks like it'll be safe to drive through the streets of Chicago, unquote, getting 8.3 thousand likes, which still not recommended, but yeah, probably. Just don't get out of the vehicle. Let's see. Tesla owner Silicon Valley says, yeah, and they have a close-up video of them running their hand over the
We are hot.
Oh, actually, do I have some voice to this one now?
We are hot. And we're hot now.
That is a 22. I was right. 2245 light.
Going hot.
Oh no, that's 9mm. The one on the desk. I was about to say the desk. Well, it's a portable desk. But I was right about the small caliber. That's
Check this out. It's crazy.
That's true. Every other truck could go straight through because they're so just cheap sheet metal. It's a silly novelty, but again, I like Elon's shtick of he says, a truck is supposed to be tough, and most of them really aren't. They look tough. That response got 3.3 thousand likes. We got our favorite leftist. Well, not really, but echo chambers get a little boring, so I follow a couple of folks to make life interesting. Luke Zaleski is a famous to me leftist. I see him in the comment section. He's someone who wears a V-neck sweater or V-neck t-shirt as a profile picture and brags about how an article he wrote in GQ saying that boys should not be allowed to play football. A little background on Luke Zaleski. He says, quote, if only there was some way for Elon to be able to get his message out, some kind of platform for marketing and advertising his products and sharing his point of view and updates about his various businesses and efforts as the world's richest man with the largest follower base in X. Mostly mentally vacuous to me because that's exactly what he's doing. However, 108 people did agree with Luke Zaleski, which would be hilarious if after all these years I found out his name is pronounced something completely differently. But nevertheless, no one really responded to him. Wall Street Silver says Cybertruck is ready for war, getting 984 likes, which I don't want to call out Black Rifle Coffee, but a couple years back, Black Rifle Coffee did brilliant marketing. They had a Tesla, the Model Y, the little SUV looking thing. And they had an instance where they had a minigun pop out of it, and it just completely, the Black Rifle Coffee logos outside, it just demolished some target they were shooting at. I'm a little disappointed. No one has put a 50 cal on this yet. How is that possible? Especially in Texas. I'm a little ashamed right now. Where are my fellow Texans with copious amounts of income to do fun, cool stuff like this? that we all dream about. We count on you to do this cool stuff and entertain us, make life interesting. You have Lives of TikTok saying, wow, getting 277 likes. Got a contrarian statement. Akish says, truly badass with great bulletproof glass, which breaks with metal ball. Which is the infamous moment all those years ago. We have Elon telling the guy to throw that ball at it.
Let's try that, right? Try that on, really?
And it's sad. You can see Elon's heart just crush.
Oh, man. It didn't go through. All right.
I got 6.9 thousand likes. Scrolling down more and more. Let's see. A lot of people trying to drive it through water. Norm Cruz says, well, is this necessary, Elon? Has this person never had fun in their life? Come on. Some things just do for fun. And that's good marketing. At least I think so. Clown World says, want, getting 270 likes. Paul Zuzupa says, materials matter, getting 50 likes. Roger Clark says, the windows, we haven't forgotten the windows, Elon, getting 4.7 thousand likes. Which I think, I don't know, I think it was off the cuff, but I think Elon said on Joe Rogan podcast that you could get it with bulletproof or bullet resistant glass, but it makes the vehicle weigh a lot more and the windows would not go up and down. Because again, bullet resistant glass for a vehicle is, like an inch thick. So a lot more cumbersome. That's the reason why a lot of those executive vehicles you see, the windows don't go up and down. The motors would have to be ginormous. I'm trying to think of these instances where actually do go up and down. All the documentaries I've seen. Scrolling down more and more. What is this? Maki Leave Ari says it's not badass, it's just bad. He has a repost about the Tesla Cybertruck recall for the foot pedal. I got 2.2 thousand likes. Here Spina says, so what you're saying is your battery is out in the middle of a hot Chicago downtown night. You have a chance. Got 6.8 thousand likes for that one. Let's see. A couple country. Let's see here. I mean, therefore I am, and yet they responded in text form. Nevertheless, I always say allegedly mean, therefore I am. Says, quote, this was silly. The best test would have been if you had it parked and leave the truck in L.A. Got 841 likes, which, yeah, that or San Francisco. That would be a true testament to the build quality and security of the vehicle if it was still there at the end of the day. If you just leave it at night and come back in the morning, if it's still there, I'd be impressed. Let's see. Yeah, so mostly overwhelmingly positive responses. Let's see here. Got more people calling out the glass. It'll be interesting to see how many people are really compelled to buy the product because of this. It gets a lot of good, a lot of people are taking photos of it. I've actually met one of my IT buddies actually bought one. It looks pretty cool in person. I didn't have the opportunity to actually ride it that day, but it looks really neat. I feel like people usually love it or hate it with the aesthetics because it's a very unique design, and the material has been used since the good old DeLorean way back in the day. So there's that good retro callback, which, that car realistically was cool because it's Back to the Future. And I like it because of the entrepreneurial spirit of, John DeLorean, who founded that company. A little ADHD comment there. But yeah, let me know. Have you met anyone or have you seen a Cybertruck on the road yet? And would you ever buy one? And does the durability of it, is that something you take into account? Would you buy it because it's bullet resistant or because it's so durable? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Rosie O'Donnell talking to squirrels about the Supreme Court ruling with Donald Trump. Some might say she's slipping, but some might say she just never had it. Now, this is brought to us thanks to EndWokeness on X Twitter. In which she says, quote, Rosie O'Donnell fights back tears after the United States Supreme Court ruling. Reach out to your friends for help. Boy, I pray. And I apologize. I already had the picture-in-picture set up. I should have had a disclaimer because your eyeballs might not melt, but they might turn back into your head. You're going to see Rosie O'Donnell. So I apologize for that. This is a little graphic, probably not family-friendly, to be honest. But yeah, it's only 48 seconds. Not too long, but it might feel like an eternity. One of the few instances where I usually say their voices are infinitely better than mine, but in this case, it might be a coin toss. But nevertheless, let's hear what Rosie has to say. And I would say F- for marketing. I don't know who's in charge of her wardrobe, but those glasses, they are good-looking glasses. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not a fashion aficionado, but I don't know where she found those. They just look the dumbest glasses I've ever seen. And I've seen a wide myriad of glasses. And I have family members with glasses. I might have some someday. But I wouldn't, I don't know who chose those frames.
Those are the squirrels talking. They probably want more walnuts. All right, I'm going to go feed them. Listen, I'm depressed myself, but I'm trying to tell you out there, if you are, you gotta hold on. We've survived all the depressing days so far. We'll survive this one. Reach out for your friends for help. Tell the people that you love how you feel.
I didn't know she did stand-up. This is kind of hilarious. Really? It is ridiculous that there are allegedly adults who are breaking down and crying this week. Like, really?
And know that this country, I believe, is going to right itself and oust him for good in November. And boy, I pray. That's all I got to say. Tick-tock, you don't stop.
Jeez. I mean, it's almost sad what she's become. And it's just reminiscent of, one of the most epic lines in political history of Donald Trump, where he had, Megyn Kelly grilling him, saying you called women fat, ugly, and pigs. And he, postured up, he goes, only Rosie O'Donnell. Which, that's gotta be one of his top 20 political moments, as hilarious as that is. Well, in terms of speeches. But it went pretty well. I got 850,000 views and 4.9 thousand likes. And yeah, I don't know why people take celebrities seriously, left or right. Celebrity worship is ridiculous. Gunther Eagleman, one of the first responses comes from President Trump broke Rosie O'Donnell again, LOL, getting 3.6 thousand likes. Paul Zupa says, quote, Rosie O'Donnell doesn't seem to care about the millions of Americans suffering under Joe Biden, getting 1.1 thousand likes. Planet Meme says these people literally have mental health issues, getting 462 likes. Which, yeah. The Texas one says liberal tears are delicious, getting 56 likes. Let's see. Oh, no way. I'm not saying you should buy a lottery ticket. Mathematically, it's one of the most biggest waste of money on the planet. But did we get lucky in this? This is the iconic clip right here with Trump. Brian says, back when Trump roasted Rosie O'Donnell. It is. We've seen it, but some things just are worth watching more than once. It's only about 33 seconds. Why the heck not?
One of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
That's the reason we didn't want to cry Biden. I got 328 likes. Another repost, Joe TM, same thing. Got 173 likes. What is this? Viva Free says for a second I thought Keith Olbermann got new glasses, which look pretty similar. It got 615 likes. Hi, I'm Kelly Joe says, does anyone care what Rosie says? Getting 128 likes. Let's see. Zaki Zosha says, agreed, and it's a picture of donkeys. It says, you can lead a liberal to truth, but you can't make them think. Got 194 likes. Classic Co-Group says another one. It says Trump derangement syndrome. Find a cure, getting 237 likes. Kevin Smith says this is hilarious because, let's be real, there's no chance she even read the ruling. Correct, getting 310 likes. I even have friends on the Facebook where they immediately typed out, oh yeah, the Supreme Court means, Trump can use, they can use SEAL Team 6 to assassinate their opponents. Which, again, just read a summary of it. Don't listen to the leftists or my orange. He's off her rocker, to say the least. But just read a summary. It's within their purview. So they can't do illegal acts. Now, scrolling down, Sherry says they're trying to take down America, getting 106 likes. Glenda says Rosie thinking anyone cares about her opinion on the Supreme Court decision is wild. They got 288 likes. Here. Nickel Bags of Freedom says Rosie must not know how embarrassing. I'm sorry. Should we list? This might be painful. It might be an extra minute. See what she has to say.
What a day, ladies and gentlemen. What a day. To go down in infamy, to never be forgotten, honestly, as we come to celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence. 248 years ago.
You can count?
And what does it mean this 4th
Impressed.
of July? Not a lot, according to the Supreme Court, because...
Keep in mind, one of the people that she lists on the Supreme Court can't define what a woman is. She actually said, when someone asked Ketanji Brown during the interview process, or glorified interview process, I'll never forget, they asked her, again, this is very important for legal issues. There are cases that are decided on this. Because they literally asked her, oh yeah, can you tell us the difference between a man and woman? Brown said, oh, I'm not a biologist. Uh-huh.
Although no one is above the law is really the foundation of this nation, apparently a president is above the law. And he could hire anyone to kill anyone and be immune from prosecution.
Oh, that's funny. Someone actually spliced in the PolitiFact. Yeah. Yeah. Spoiler alert, if you didn't follow the Obama presidency, he actually killed American citizens without due process over in the Middle East with drone strikes, including father and son.
Which would mean, I assume, that President Biden has that same right. Right now.
Yep. So that was a little painful. But 15 likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. Base Chef says, cry harder. I'm thirsty. November is going to be great. And so Cup says liberal tears. I got 76 likes. So, old Rosie. Fascinatingly enough, she is still culturally relevant. There are millions of people who follow her. And, oh, here's a good, what is it? Florida Mama says there's something similar here, but I can't quite put my finger on it. It's Rosie O'Donnell and maybe Robert De Niro looking shockingly similar. In 25 likes. So it'll be interesting to see how many people continue to worship celebrities left and right. I mean, she's so wildly successful on social media. People follow her. But yeah, let's just say there's definitely a lack of knowledge when it comes to this week in the Supreme Court ruling. I'm not surprised that most celebrities, and who knows, maybe they're just being paid or incentivized to do so. Very few celebrities and people are actually reading through the summary, and they're already playing people much smarter than me breaking it down eloquently on the YouTube. But let me know, do you think she'll always be culturally relevant? Maybe. But time shall tell. Other interesting cultural news, you have a California police officer arrest a man for simply eating a sandwich while waiting for the train. Because, of course, they solved all the other crime. Ha! That's a joke because the culture and the politics of California is morally and mentally vacuous, to say the least. Now, this is brought to us thanks to CatTurd on X Twitter. He says, quote, arrested for eating a sandwich, but you can loot stores at will or do heroin on the sidewalk and nothing happens. Welcome to California. Some might argue that's a mispronunciation. Some people call it California. Apologize for that faux pas there. And see, about 47 seconds long. Not too bad, so go ahead and all. Now, let's see. Got a young gentleman wearing. He's got some unique shoes. He's got bright, was it blue shoes, black jeans or pants, and a sweater. Unfortunately, not a suit in sight. And of course, he's eating a sandwich, and the police officer's going to come and annoy him, and then arrest him. Spoiler alert.
You're eating.
Bro, so what?
It's against the law.
So what?
It's a violation of California law. I have the right to detain you.
Remember, this is the state that allows looting and. They didn't even try stopping shoplifters anymore. They made it so that it is okay, basically, to steal up to $950 because they declassified it, or they bumped it down from a felony to a misdemeanor. And the way the public justice system usually works is a volume business. It's usually a plea down. So now, if you steal up to $950, it's just a misdemeanor. So if you do get taken to court, or they arrest you, in the rare cases where they do, they bump it down to basically nothing. And you have district attorneys who don't even prosecute anything at all. Again, what was it? The Summer of Love, the George Floyd riots had $2 billion of property damage around the U.S. Well, in California, that was against the law, but they allowed it. They allow the homelessness, they have the crap everywhere on the streets, the drug uses, overdoses, the theft, and yet this is the choice for the police resource allocation. Annoy a guy for eating a sandwich? You should have just put drugs in the sandwich, then the police would probably say it's fine. Ridiculous.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
You
I'm going to jail.
I'm not going to jail for eating a sandwich.
No, for resisting arrest.
I'm not resisting arrest.
You are resisting.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Where is the sign up here that says that we can't eat on the platform?
Right, let go of my bag.
You are detained and you're not free to go.
I'm not
Okay,
detained.
you're
I
going to
haven't
end
done
up going
nothing
to
wrong.
jail.
I've done nothing wrong.
You are detained.
Stop.
You're
Stop.
under
Stop.
arrest for eating. It's illegal. Violation of California law. You already said that. Turn around. No, turn around now. I've done nothing wrong. Turn around. Turn around.
Just listen. Just listen. Just listen.
Ain't nobody resisting. Ain't nobody resisting.
Just listen. You didn't even do anything. 4 cops eating a sandwich. That's all he did was eat a sandwich.
Great use of your tax dollars, California, as they continue to go into budget deficit, losing more and more money. Went pretty viral, got 1.2 million views, as well as 27,000 likes. Because again, yeah, what ridiculous. Planet Memes A+. They did respond in meme form this time. So Planet Memes says California is just dumb, and it's a picture of the California flag with a bear running off. It says, "I'm done with this liberal dump. I'm going to Texas." California Republic flag. Just remember, if you move to Texas, why you left your state and why you're coming to one of the best economic and cultural places on the planet, which is Texas, or some might call it Texas. I got 525 likes. Paul Zazupa says, looks like this was in 2019. California's only gotten worse since then. Sad. Looks like BART, which has to be an acronym for some silly ineptitude. Oh, of course, it's San Francisco. And they named it BART. Gosh, that's hilarious. They say Bart apologizes for handcuffing man eating sandwich on a train platform. The widely shared video of the episode prompted a weekend eat-in protest at the Bay Area Rapid Transit System in San Francisco. Got 161 likes. Going more, down more and more. Burkill's great, says Democrat policies are insane. Let's make America sane again. Vote Trump. Picture of Biden clown paint says the first president in history to be elected by voter fraud, fake news, and tech censorship. Getting 298 likes. Let's see. Arthur Dent says the cops are the problem. And his police lined up in riot gear. It says these people are not your friends because they obey orders from these people. It's all the Democrat leftist political leaders, including Gavin Newsom. Got 301 likes. Base chefs, and this has to be Photoshop, but it says California becomes first state to ban heterosexual marriage. Got 370 likes, which, I mean, yesterday's parody is tomorrow's reality these days. Who the heck knows the California? RDT says, you can walk naked and do unspeakable stuff in pride parades in front of children, and you can loot stores, and you can be treated like, and you are treated like normal, and no arrest. You eat a sandwich, you get arrested. See a problem here? Got 858 likes. Here. Maybe there's extra statistics on how they charged him maybe in this video, or it's an extended version. See. The righty girl says, really? All the crime going on in California, and this cop couldn't find anything better to do than arrest this man for a sandwich. That's why people are fleeing California like their lives depend on it, because they do. We got 602 likes. Salty Goat says, so how's that San Andreas fault doing these days? Any movement? Just asking, no reason. Got 135 likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. Lisa Johnson says, okay to steal from an old lady, but watch out for your sandwich fixins. Getting 350 likes. Let's see here. Elizabeth Helligan says, stop voting Democrat. Getting 388 likes. Here. So overwhelming positive support. And yeah, maybe we'll see, again, maybe we'll see an extended video. But really disgusting. Pictures of people defecating in California, as they often do. But yeah, I can't imagine living there these days. It's crazy. It's one of the most, I mean, in terms of the actual nature, the forest, the beach, I mean, in terms of the actual nature, it's one of the most beautiful places out there, and yet the policies make it unlivable for pretty much anyone. So interesting to see, will the culture ever turn around in California? Will the people vote differently? Will they maybe just treat each other a little better? Who knows? But as I always say, time shall tell. Other interesting cultural news, you have a Canadian pride parade with naked adults in front of children sparking controversy. This is brought to us thanks to Callan Rugg over at X Twitter, in which he says, quote, new, Toronto Pride turns into a degenerate pride parade as perps take their clothes off to celebrate their pride. Bring the sounds back. Family and children were encouraged to celebrate Toronto's pride-filled weekend as thousands flocked to different cities and different events in the city, including Family Pride. Family Pride is a fun-filled experience on the grounds of Church Street School. Here, families can indulge in face painting and magic show, storytelling, and much more, said organizers for the Family Pride event at the Church Street School. The group had to remind adults that they were only allowed if they had kids. Please, and this is a quote from them, please note that adults are only allowed in this space if you're accompanied by a child 0 to 12 years old. And thankfully they blur out most of the disgustingness, so it won't be too disgusting on our eyes. Starts out the video of man, what's this? Oh, he's parading in a parade wearing only, what do you call that stupid character? Bugs Bunny guy? The original one was good from back in the day, but this is Bugs Bunny plush shoes and then a Bugs Bunny mask. That's all this gentleman is. No, he's not a gentleman. The deplorable POS is wearing. Which, what was wrong with these people? Again, have we ever seen straight people do this? Like, I've never seen anyone sane go run naked through the streets. Yet now this is the norm. Wow. Dozens of these perps. Again, no one gave a damn what you did in the bedroom. Well, I should clarify. Maybe 2% of the population care about what people did in the bedroom. To me, that wasn't the big point of controversy. For decades, really, no one really gave a damn. Doing this in public and in front of kids, that's where a lot of people are drawing the line. That's horrifying. God, this music's terrible too. Let me mute that. Got more people dancing, using the speed limit as a pole to dance on. And more drag queens dancing, I guess. Desecration to the stop sign. Well, in that case, the speed limit sign. Wembury Valley got 20.2 million views for the Canadian depravity and 28,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from Joshua Walker saying, "This is their leader. I'm more embarrassed for Canada than I am America at this point." Is that Justin Trudeau dancing like a douche? Let's see here. That's 5 seconds long. What is this? Terrible music. So Justin Trudeau hanging out in Chinatown? Yeah, he's so morally, mentally vacuous. He said, asked him, like, what country does he admire? He said, China. Because of their way they were able to lock people down during the pandemic because they didn't have human rights. Then he's probably allegedly related to the Castros, as his mother was a nice way of saying promiscuous woman. A whore hung around the Castros. Got 2,000 likes. Junita Broderick says, "This is so sick. Why isn't public nudity illegal? It's lewd and obscene." Getting 7.7 thousand likes. Conor Rugg responded saying, "This is the same country that will help you take drugs." Getting 3.2 thousand likes. Will also give you assisted suicide. Because that's the Canadian way. Which, granted, if you live there, you might want to end your life prematurely. I understand it's not a great place to live. It's more dictatorial than ever now, as they take away your ability to free speech, to hold and bear arms. Pretty much have no rights to live there. So I can understand why you might be depressed living there. So doesn't mean you should end your life prematurely. Paul Zazupa says, quote, "All the adults who took part in this should be jailed, whether they were in the parade or viewing it. They're complicit in mass sexual abuse of children. Any society that tolerates this perversion is no place to raise children." Got 1.1 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, "This is a Kranzenstein Brothers approved pride parade. Sick F's." Getting 765 likes. Fastfresh 84 says, "Why would you want to expose yourself to kids, to the world? What happened to indecent exposure laws? It's okay when you're with pride. No, arrest all of them." Got 3,000 likes, and you see a full-grown adult in the pride parade in front of a child. Which, yep, it's one of those things where culture and law, police might not have any will to do it. We've seen this in even the United States. This happens. You'll have a pride parade with people who are doing sexual acts or even naked, and police will just be standing there and there's kids around. And police are either cowards or they're just complacent and they're doing what they're told, or they're just following orders. May says there's no rational reason for adults to be walking through the streets naked, getting 1.2 thousand likes. Which, yep, scrolling down more and more. Let's see. Doug Osborne says blackface Trudeau probably joined them. There's a picture of drag queens or men just dressed as women. Says these are the people who think Donald Trump is unstable. And 617 likes. Paratrooper Brady says, what happened to the law of exposing yourself to public to minors? We used to get prison time for that and added a pedo watch list, getting 1.1 thousand likes, which again is the importance of culture. There are a lot of societies, mostly morally vacuous, I would say, who they don't care about this. They're not going to push the politicians or the police to actually enforce the rule of law. So very similar to somebody. There are a lot of laws that are on the books, but they aren't enforced because culturally they're not really being pushed to enforce them. USMC Lady Vet says only perverts parade themselves naked in front of children, getting 712 likes. See if there's any contrarian statements here. General TM says Toronto is a cesspool, getting 157 likes, which of course it's in Canada. Gizmo says, what does nudity have to do with Pride Month, getting 1,000 likes. Interestingly enough, yeah, it's still going viral, even though it was last week. Let's see. Any contrarian statements? I don't see any. Jay Hands says Toronto may be worse than San Francisco. Getting 72 likes, that might be a tall order. Will that be a sad competition? Which one is worse? That's hard to say. They're both up there. Or down there. So again, it'll be interesting to see culturally what happens in the United States. In terms of, do people actually push for the politicians and police to enforce the laws that are on the books? They're again, as scary as it sounds, there are many many people who think this is a good thing to have these types of parades where children can be present. And there are people who think it's good to have a parade where there are adults who are naked, which I can't fathom that, but some people think that's a good thing. So let me know, in your area of the world or the country, is that a culturally accepted thing? Do you have friends? It's one of those things like, I have gay friends, none of them think this is acceptable. Even my most left friend don't think this. Like, so to me, I think it's an extreme thing to think that this is at all culturally or morally acceptable to have children around these types of parades, or even these naked parades in general. But let me know. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, you have the Burnout driver who, quote-unquote, destroyed a pride mural painted on the ground, now arrested and facing a felony in Florida. Will DeSantis eventually pardon him? Many are wondering. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Raw Alerts over at X Twitter. And they say, quote, breaking, Florida police have arrested a 18-year-old Christian Meyer for driving and doing donut burnouts and leaving tire marks all over a Pride Street mural. The St. Petersburg police have announced that they have arrested and taken 18-year-old Christian Meyer into custody for performing donut burnouts and leaving tire marks over the Pride mural on May 22nd in St. Petersburg, Florida. This act caused significant damage to the landscape painting and sparked an uproar from the LGBTQ IA+ community. Officials say that the 18-year-old is now being charged with felony criminal mischief and street racing. And I was gonna say, let's you be the judge of that. Let's play that video really quick. That was crappy music. That. What? Come on, X Twitter. About 40 seconds long. What kind of car does he have? I'm a gearhead, I should be able to identify this. Yeah, fair amount of torque, could do some type of burnout. Certainly not a Mitsubishi Mirage. Automotive burn. It's a really crappy camera. I'm not sure how they identified the license plate in this. I'm just doing some burnouts. And the streets. As one mostly does. Or if you're on a budget, you just do it in snow-covered streets like me in the Midwest. Great way to have fun. I mean, from a technical perspective, that was actually pretty well executed. Watch that again. That was a really smooth exit. He's doing a couple of burnouts, doing nice donuts around and around and around. Gets there, gracefully exits. Man, that was pretty well executed. Got some technical or driving technical acumen in him. Went pretty well. Got 2.3 million views and 15,000 likes. Now it's being charged with a felony for doing a burnout. And again, the dumbest thing on the planet. There are many theories of why they're painting these on the streets. Maybe it's just thought control. Maybe they're just baiting people or entrapment. But of all the places to put any ideology, putting it on the streets where it will inherently get dirty anyway because it is the street. is one of the weirdest, dumbest places you can put any product or any advertisement I could possibly fathom. Yet they keep doing it time and time again. Maybe it's so they can keep baiting people. Like it's unfathomable. Like I would never put a company logo on the ground like that, especially if it's something that's supposed to be moderately durable. That's supposed to last forever. How long? And fascinatingly enough, again, this they're classifying as hate crime. If you burn the American flag, that's protected free speech. And I'm not sure if this specific controversy or political or cultural debate has gone to the Supreme Court yet in terms of, well, I guess is that LGBT a protected class, so you can't burn their flag, but you can burn the American flag. I'm surprised it hasn't been challenged more in court. In terms of the court of public opinion, it's fascinating how many quote-unquote Americans cheer the burning of the American flag. In fact, those same people who say, oh yeah, it's free speech, those are the same people who want you arrested for these types of flag burnings, which again, in terms of fairness, it should be consistent around everything. Either you can burn all the flags, or you can't, or you can only, like, it should be equally applied, is what I'm attempting to eloquently say. And if you can do me a favor and click that subscribe button, it may very well assist my speaking ineptitudes. When I first started the show, believe it or not, spoke mostly monotone, spoke way too fast, yes, even faster than now, and I stumbled over my words, debatably as bad or worse than Biden. But as I've gained more subscribers, I've slowly but surely been able to speak more and more eloquently. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you tuned in again, you already subscribed, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, or comment, let me know what I can do better. Now, going to the comments section, one of the first ones comes from Art Candy, one of our favorite leftists. Well, not really, but appreciate her perspective because echo chambers get a little bit boring. She's very much a leftist, and in terms of a silly name, her name is Art Candy, spelled Candee, which, again, ridiculous. That's how you spell it. And her emoji pictures that you can have those in your profile name is a popcorn, which I'm pretty sure is salty, and then water in a straw, which I can't help but think a serial killer drinks water out of a straw. Have you ever heard that? Unless someone has a disability. I've never heard that. But those things are, in fact, not candy. Just a ridiculous name. As ridiculous as something like Topping. Oh, wait. I partially digress. Nevertheless, she says, good. He can't deface property just because he doesn't like it. Unquote. She got 91 likes. Many people do agree with her. Can't help but think she's the same person that would applaud people burning the American flag. But she got some of the most responses. She got 403 responses. See what people responded to her with. One of the first ones comes from Vet0917, dad, husband, retired Navy veteran, war veteran. Long name, but nevertheless a good one. He says, interesting. During the summer of love riots, people burned down stores and looted like crazy, but that wasn't a felony, and almost no one was even charged. But this is worse? Give me a break. The woke police are ruining our nation. Unquote. Getting 139 likes. Jimmy Hart again, which I agree with this. He says, then why is it on the street? Getting 190 likes, which, yes, again, why put it there? It's literally in the worst possible place for a product placement or anything. Because you will inevitably, especially in Democrat cities, they'll get just thrown trash in San Francisco, get human feces on it, and over time this will get tire tracks on it. Granted, his was at a much more accelerated rate, but nevertheless, you have Tim McGraw, GFI, saying he didn't deface it, he staged a counter-protest, getting 181 likes, which, again, from a legal perspective, it'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to make that legal justification that is protected speech, because that's a form of protest. I don't know, and it's even more ridiculous. Our country's almost $35 trillion in debt, and yet we're paying to paint stuff on the ground, which will inevitably get dirty. To me, and again, maybe it's just I'm a small business owner, I'm a little bit more frugal than the average person. To me, that just seems to be the dumbest waste of money on the planet. No matter what the picture is, you're putting it on the ground. Nick Red Cloud said the government is the one defacing the property, getting 126 likes. Nancy the Neanderthal says, correct, property destruction is only allowed if you're liberal, getting 151 likes. Kelly wants America back, says, quote, cultist defends graffiti and calls it property, getting 152 likes. Bad Axe for the Girl says, and just whose property is it, getting 69 likes, which, yep, it's the taxpayer's property. Let's see, Jeremy Wood says, I guess you were the same during the summer of 2020, getting 86 likes. So again, she got a lot of likes. I mean, her statement got 504 likes, but most of the comments are all roasting her, as the youth might say. Going back to the main comment section, you have Feminology saying if people can burn American flags, then this should be free speech also, hoping Governor DeSantis will step in. It got 904 likes, which many people are speculating once this again, he's 18, so he's an adult, but once he is actually convicted, then he can pardon him. I'm a little lost on the nuances of when in the process the governor can actually pardon someone, but there are many people mirroring Fenon's response with that sentiment. Scrolling down more and more, you got, what is this? Libercat Media TM saying insanity. It's the famous picture of CNN with literally the city burning behind him, and the tagline is fury, but mostly peaceful protest after police shooting. And then below it says, one of these is a felony, and it has the tire marks on it's not the pride flag, it's the Progress Pride flag. Again, the vernacular is confusing, perhaps by intent, but it's hard to keep track of it. And for the flag manufacturers, they are making a killing. I got 2.7 thousand likes. Let's see. Libercat Media TM also had a little picture juxtaposition. You have a gentleman saying it's free speech. It's called free speech. Get over it, Nazis. Someone burning the Holy Bible. The same person now crying says, find out who did this and arrest him. It's someone burning the pride flag. Got 3.4 thousand likes. Let's see. Rosetto Carzo says, I fully support this. Do you? And it's an AI, well, maybe just a graphic designer, but someone, good, I don't know if it's good or bad marketing, depending on what, it's definitely not a brand endorsement by Ford, but you can tell it's a Ford pickup truck. It does the burnouts over the trans flag on the ground. It says Black Lives Matter. And that got 3.5 thousand likes, which, again, Ford would never do because that would alienate a portion of the market for them. The Red Wave Press says, so Christian is being charged with a felony for doing a donut on a pride mural, but burning the American flag in public is considered free speech. Very interesting, unquote. Getting 2.8 thousand likes. USMC Lady Vet says, if you can burn the American flag, you can drive over a pride mural. First Amendment, baby, getting 7.1 thousand likes. Valentina Gomez, which she's pretty good at marketing. If I were her, I would put something in here that lets people know she's running for office. I only know that because I clicked her profile because I see her so consistently. But nevertheless, she says the stupid Pride Month is over. He's helping taxpayers by removing the paint and getting it ready for 4th of July. God bless America. Got 3.9 thousand likes. Diane Marie says the George Floyd riots of 2020 and nothing was done. A little video of the George Floyd fires. Got 1.5 thousand likes. Let's see. Spitfire says, so much for DeSantis stopping this crap, getting 769 likes. Wonder what people responded to him. A couple people saying he's a fraud. A lot of people saying he's over. Let's see. Rose said, so the mural on the street is protected, but our flag is not. Getting 540 likes. Random Lib says, give him a medal. And here's another one. This is a truck. This is a fancy one. It's a dually. And fascinatingly enough, the truck does not break down, which is a rare thing. And this is, I think this is one of the first instances where you had a truck doing a burnout over the progress flag. They got 1.9 thousand likes. So it'll be interesting to see what type of defense he tries to mount when this does go to court. I mean, because again, this is a felony. It's pretty, well, I was going to say, I don't know if this is dark humor or just sad, but some might call it a road bump, pun mildly intended, in terms of your career path. I mean, in many instances, you won't be able to get a job at a company because you have to check the box, that mark that says you are a convicted felon. So it'll be interesting to see if he just gets pardoned, or, again, in many instances, you also have that little box where you're allowed to explain your circumstances. I'm not sure how many companies actually read that, or if they just has the automated, or in many cases, the automated system just, automatically throw the resume out. But yeah, we're seeing this happen more and more. So this is going to be moving through the courts, and I mean, eventually we'll have a definitive answer. And again, in this case, I don't think we didn't see exactly how much this cost the city to actually paint that on the ground, which any dollar amount over a cent is too much, because again, it will inevitably get dirty again. But I mean, we're seeing these murals come up more and more and more throughout the whole calendar year, and the protests against them are increasing in frequency. So it seems like culturally people are starting to push back. Now politically, I mean, which way are the judges going to rule? Who's going to be supporting which side? It'll be fascinating to see at the end of the day what happens to this young man, or adult, whatever I call him. Let me know in the comments. Have you, anecdotally speaking, I have not yet seen one of these murals in my area, but let me know, have you seen them in your area? Are there people either peacefully protesting or not peacefully protesting them? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Tennessee passing a law that not allows the death penalty for child abusers. And cover your ears if you have children listening. I'm talking about people who are child they commit adult acts on children. I try to keep this moderately family friendly, so if you're listening to it when you're working around the house or something, you don't have to worry about it being too bombastic or too crass, so to say. And yeah, thankfully the law did pass. Fascinatingly enough, 19 people did vote against this. Now, again, this law just allows it. It doesn't say every single time it has to happen. I think it should, but nevertheless, it just gives these judges the option to enforce. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, in which she says, quote, "New Tennessee law allowing the death penalty for child abusers goes into effect today. 19 people voted against it. All 19 were Democrats." Which, I don't think that's a coincidence. Now, this is reposted thanks to a local news network in Tennessee called, was it the 5 News? Which, yeah, looks like it went successfully through. Wow, of all that list, 19 said no. Wow. Can we read their names? Sure. If you're local, again, if you realize these people are trying to protect these child abusers and you want to vote them out appropriately or protest them or primary them in the next upcoming re-election, names are rather Bien, Hamper, Jen, Clondis, Nimby, Freeman, Hardaway, Harris, Hemmer, Johnson G, Jones, Love, McKinsey, Miller, Mitchell, Parkinson, Pearson, Powell, and Shaw. Those appear to be the 19 people who voted against this because they wanted to protect the child abusers. Because they think the child abusers have the right to live. Which again, this also increases the burden in terms of the legal system. Again, the death penalty, if you're going for that, the burden of proof does increase. So that's the trade-off that some judges and some lawyers might see in this instance, now that they have this option. Do they have enough evidence to push for it? So that's something to take into account as well. And Web Pretty Battle got 774,000 views, 27,000 likes. One of the first comments comes from Paul Zupa saying, quote, "Democrats fighting harder for abusers of children than for children," unquote, getting 563 likes. The Texas one says, "How could anyone vote against this?" getting 28 likes. Planet of Memes, again, they're not doing so great today. They did not, in fact, respond in meme form, but the Planet of Memes says, quote, "The punishment for committing a crime like this against a child should be as harsh as possible," unquote, getting 108 likes. Perkles the Great says, do you want to see criminal penalties become harsher like Tennessee and Nigeria? Nigeria, I think they call it the OG. Thanks to the Urban Dictionary, I now know that means original gangster. It says, R word will be surgically castrated, and anyone who R words a child will face a death penalty under the new laws in the Nigerian state. That's a good deterrence, and, technically speaking, a permanent solution to solve this problem. Which, again, one of the most horrifying things is that the people who abuse children have a high propensity of being double and triple. They have a high propensity of repeating those offenses. Again, one is too many. Now, it's going down. That did get 320 likes. Trump.ai says Democrats support pedos, getting 176 likes. DK says, of course Democrats voted against this. If it were up to them, they'd let these perpetrators walk free on a $500 bond. Fact check, they don't like bonds. That'd be a $0 bond. But nevertheless, that did get 100 likes. Jeez. Livercat Media TM says, good grief. And it's the iconic scene from Jaws. Instead of saying they're going to need a bigger ship, he says, we're going to need a bigger wood chipper. Getting 81 likes. First Word says Democrats are soft on crime because their constituents are criminals. Getting 104 likes. The Flag Guy says every state should implement this. Getting 72 likes. There's any contrarians here. Again, in terms of this being something that's become a political issue with more, we can kind of break it down, more often than not, Republicans and conservatives are the folks who believe in death penalty. Even in that group, that is, to some people, a divisive topic, since some people are very religious, they think that everyone deserves redemption. And they think it's still cruel and unusual to take their life, even though they've committed these horrific acts. Which one could also argue this taking their life simply just accelerates their path to meeting God. So they're just giving them a shortcut, or more accurately, to be judged by St. Peter and sent to hell. If you believe in those same things, then yeah. So overwhelming support for this in the comment section here. Now it'll be interesting to see if more and more states adopt this. Because again, I think Florida was in Q4 2023, I believe they adopted this. But believe it or not, in terms of the United States, the death penalty is not used as often as people think. It's rarely used, and it's ridiculous. It sometimes takes 10 to 20, 30 years to actually make it happen legally through the whole process. because there are so many instances for them to appeal it, and it's astonishing how inefficient the public sector is. Well, I guess, no, it shouldn't be too surprising, but it is, nevertheless. And again, this simply gives the judges the option to do it. Doesn't mean they're going to happen every single time. And again, some of these judges, I know in some areas in the United States, they would very much like to have this ability to punish these people. I was going to say these people. I would say that they're not even people, morally vacuous scum that commit these types of criminal acts. But again, what will the public say? Do you think people will vote against some of these? I mean, it'll be interesting to see at the end of the day, do these people lose their upcoming re-elections because they voted in favor of this? Or, more accurately, hopefully, they just voted based on their constituents, and the constituents realize some risks aren't worth taking in terms of, again, these perpetrators have a high recidivism rate. Let's make sure they don't do it again. Give them their legal day in court to prove themselves innocent. Or, in many cases, they're proved beyond reasonable doubt they are not. So let me know, where are you in the United States? So in terms of, does your area allow this option to be given to judges? Do you think they should expand this more? Again, this is just one state. And in some states, no matter what you do, like Illinois, I believe it's still to this day, no matter what horrific crime you do, they don't have death penalty. Which, I mean, to me personally, that's ridiculous. But maybe I should give them some slack. I mean, Chicago's doing great. It's a great, safe place to live. Oh wait, that's a joke, because obviously it's been horrifying and terrible for businesses and people for decades. So let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it is happening in your area? Do you think people will overwhelmingly support it? And, well, fun curveball, or not really curveball, ADHD question. Do you think at a federal level we'll ever see this option being given to judges across the United States? Or, again, because, again, this is also it is a state's, crime in terms of the frequency. But still, it'd be interesting to give that option. Let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Elon fact-check on Kamal Harris tweet around Trump's abortion ban conspiracy, and it goes viral to say the least. Now, of course, this does come to us thanks to Elon over on X Twitter, and he's originally responded to Kamala. Kamala, or more accurately, one of her handlers, says, quote, because again, this is way too eloquent for her. She does not speak properly. And that's coming from me, of all people. So again, she allegedly says, quote, Donald Trump would ban abortion nationwide. President Joe Biden and I will do everything in favor to stop him and restore women's reproductive freedom. And the beauty of X Twitter is now they have readers and context. It says President Trump has repeatedly said he will not sign a national abortion ban. There's, what is it? CNN, BBC, AP News, New York Times, True Social, all those references saying, oh yeah, he won't actually do that. Even during the debate, they brought that up. And yet she still said this after the debate. Granted, we know she's mostly mentally vacuous, and she just got the job because, well, not her qualifications. And yet, again, she still tweeted this. Now, Elon responded saying, quote, when will politicians, or at least the intern who runs this account, learn that lying on this platform doesn't work anymore? And he got 51.9 million views and 576,000 likes, which is quite a few to say the least. Now, one of the first comments, interestingly enough, comes from Luke Zaleski, our favorite leftist. Well, not really, but he's a leftist, and life gets a little bit boring if you're in an echo chamber. So this V-neck t-shirt guy, which, again, I don't want to say he gets an F- for marketing or fashion, but, well, maybe D-. He says, quote, this site is a in-kind contribution to Trump and has been since Elon bought it and reinstated Trump and his army of election and vaccine-denying propagandists and platformed and promoted their conspiracies and disinformation and pretend it would cause the woke mind virus made him. I got 1.6 thousand likes. That's quite a few. Let's see. One of the first comments comes from, what's this? Might be, let's see here. Might be a little biased, but I think this is a quite handsome gentleman. The Topping Show says, quote, but Luke, you aren't disputing Elon correcting Kamala? Question mark. Not to brag, they got 3 likes. Granted, one of them was for myself, but nevertheless, did get 3 likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. See what other people said to Luke. Clara says, did you notice he didn't even respond directly to Kamala Harris on a tweet by reposting and quoting her actual tweet instead of he posted his response with a screenshot of it? What a coward doing so. So I'm critiquing Elon. She got 6 likes. Emmy says, yet you're still here, referring to Luke, getting 1 like. Ross says, Soy Boy, getting 11 likes. Let's see. Going back to the main comments, Catbird said, the mask is off, the liars are being exposed. It's a glorious time to watch in real time. Getting 49,000 likes. Let's see here. Paul Zazupa says, politicians like Kamal Harris don't care about what works or not. she just does whatever she wants without consequence. That's the same mentality that ruined all Democrat-led cities. I got 1.8 thousand likes. You know, like another contrarian comment from Luke Zaleski. He says, quote, have you ever seen a note on Trump's surrogate tweet because they're so honest? Trump took credit for Roe being repealed. He appointed the judge who did it. In Kamala's opinion and projection, he banned abortion based on those facts. Acting like X, a truth arbiter, is laughable. He got 5.1 thousand likes for that. And yet, former atheist says the decision was sent back to the states, getting 347 likes. Melissa says he literally said he wouldn't. You have to take people at what they say until they prove you otherwise. You take Biden what he says, right? Anything else is an opinion in your head. You can't see into the future. That's the problem with your liberals. You literally make up scenarios in your head. Got 396 likes. Let's see. Ryan Ryder says exactly why would he repeal Roe versus Wade if he wasn't going to ban abortion, getting 55 likes. Wool Over Bear says Trump moved the decision back to the hands of the states. Not sure how you draw a line between that and a federal ban on abortion, getting 379 likes. Going back to the main comment section, you have Art Candy, spelled wrong, obviously. Nevertheless, Art Candy says Trump repeatedly said he wouldn't overturn Roe vs. Wade, and look what happened, spare me. You got 5.6 thousand likes, which, granted, many people make the argument that he appointed the Supreme Court justices who made that decision to return it back to the state, and he also wasn't in office during that time. Jim says that right here, he got 1.6 thousand likes. Also, in terms of, just Ruth Bader Ginsburg was so power hungry. She hung on to that job until the day she died, literally. If she wasn't so selfish and egotistical and stepped down during Barack Obama's presidency, as many people recommended, well, they would have replaced her with some other leftist. And yet, she chose to hold on to that power even longer, which helped sway many decisions later, because Trump appointed people who believe in the Constitution, a thing that many people disdain. Brother Eagleman says, quote, all Kamala Harris does is lie. Is there another way to see on her account as a new, and maybe have her put a parody in the bio, getting 6.3 thousand likes? Ostrich says, community quotes isn't perfect, but it's better than anything else out there. Fire emoji, getting 7.1 thousand likes. World says most politicians are shameless, so they don't care, getting 3.4 thousand likes. Plan on Memes responded in meme form. There we go. Finally. Says, quote, X is the media now. It's the iconic meme picture of the guy pointing at his head. It says, X is where the media hoaxes go to die. Got 188 likes. Luke Rukowski says, how do you know politicians are lying? Their lips are moving, getting 782 likes. Wall Street Silver says they don't know how to stop. They get their talking points and just repeat them regardless of what actually happened. Getting 4.5 thousand likes. Yes, any more contrarian statements? I'll be back. Although it's a Donald Trump prison picture, not Arnold. Says, no matter what happens next, always remember this. And some people call her a Big Mike, but other people call her Michelle Obama, saying, quote, I've never been proud of this country. And then you have Lanya saying, I became a citizen because I love this country. Got 3.2 thousand likes. Let's see here. Going down more and more. X Van Fleet says, communists always lie. Communism is built on lies. Getting 3.9 thousand likes. Here. Any other contrarian statements? Because again, there are people who, well, no one really loves Kamala, but there are people who like the Biden administration. Quite literally millions. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, not seeing too many of them in comments. That is probably one of the most unique things about X Twitter, the ability to actually call out some of these liars on the left and the right. And there's a crowdsourcing, and it's one of the very few ones where anyone could have an equal, opportunity to do that. The Facebook, I'm pretty sure is still there, who the hell knows who actually works over there, who does all this fact checking, quote unquote, and the bans, of course. But let me know, do you think this is a big value added to X Twitter? It's one of the things I like about the platform, because it allows people easily correct them in real time and add some additional context. But let me know in the comments. As always, it's been fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, the Biden-Harris campaign raised $246 million in Q2, with $127 million coming in June alone. That is quite a pretty penny, to say the least. Well, I should clarify, a vintage pretty penny, because modern pennies are 99.99% zinc and rudimentary, just simply copper plated. So they're basically trash. But vintage pennies were real copper back when our country was, used real money. Sad metaphor, but nevertheless. This comes from Biden Wins, which is a X Twitter profile. Ironically, the profile picture is in fact of Biden walking down a flight of stairs, which is one of his greatest opponents in life is stairs. Walking up them is, I mean, that's a battle. And nevertheless, Biden wins, says, quote, breaking, the Biden campaign just announced that they raised over $264 million in the second quarter, including a record-setting 127 in the month of June. Don't ever let the media tell you Democrats aren't excited to re-elect President Biden. I got a little under 200,000 views, saying 6.4 thousand likes, which, no, no one is excited to, like, re-elect Biden. People, again, there are people who appreciate the Democrat Party, and I know people who will vote for Democrats. I don't know anyone who's excited about Biden, even my friends who are on the left. I mean, do you know, I've never, again, just another ADHD question, have you ever seen a Biden flag or a shirt? Not on social media. I've seen the ones that are for sale when I'm following people like this. I've yet, and again, a pretty diverse neighborhood. I mean, yeah, you never see a Biden flag. I mean, shoot, you can see how people with Clinton flags back in the day, people support her. She was a murderer. Well, I should clarify. Hillary Clinton is a very wise, beautiful woman who never hurt a fly and does not have a disproportionate amount of people around her who committed suicide magically or randomly. I should clarify that and also say I plan to live a long, healthy life. Just want to throw that out there. Now, yeah, I don't think anyone is actually excited about getting Biden elected. I do think there are many people who are very fervent, very passionate about getting Democrats reelected. I do believe in that. There's quite literally millions of Americans who want that. But yeah, excited to reelect Biden? I don't think so. Granted, he's for many people in power, he's perfect in terms of manipulation. And I mean Jill Biden, a lot of people are speculating she's really the one in charge. And one of the first comments comes from Armand Hoth, saying Democrats are excited to do everything possible to help President Biden, VP Harris, and Democrats win their elections in a landslide, unquote, getting 178 likes. 22 responses. I wonder if he was ratioed, maybe. Luke Parent says yes in a landslide. That's why its approval rating is 28%, and 72% think he should not run. Those are the voters talking. Getting 5 likes. A lot of people saying laugh out loud. Ratioed by the number of comments against him, but not by the number of likes. Peggy Gabar says, I donated green check, blue heart, and then many American flags for democracy. Got 54 likes and 28 responses. Voltron's World responded to her saying, I donated to Trump to save a republic, getting 11 likes. Guy Knight says, we aren't a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. Get it right, getting 4 likes. And about 50-50 responses to her saying, yes, I've donated, or no, I don't like that. Let's see here. There's an ad for a second. Looks like it. Anita Swan, hashtag Demforce. What? So, of course, she doesn't have a United States flag because, you know. She does have a Ukrainian flag, though, of course. And she describes herself as attorney, lifelong resident of LA, California, DNC member, elect DNC Biden delegate, CA30, ex-board, hashtag Demvoice. Of course, again, she has a Ukrainian flag, but not an American flag. And she says, quote, we're fired up and we're ready to go. Let's go, Joe. And it's a picture of Joe Biden in his aviator glasses and says, how much money they raised. Got 27 likes. Trump Family Parody says, this old man delivers and delivers every day. President Biden is a force to be reckoned with and deserves our appreciation and attention. Got 61 likes, which, again, he's illegally forgiving student loans. I know many people support him for that alone because free money, a lot of people appreciate that. Even though it's just being pushed on the other taxpayers. He delivers every day. 15 people responded. Again, it would be beneficial, again, no matter who you're voting for or no matter who you're saying you should get elected, you give people bullet points. Like, again, if this person has said, Biden delivers every day, here's 1, 2, 3 bullet points, A, B, and C, that'd be much more compelling and a good way to educate people who might be sitting on the fence politically or somehow interested, or people who follow just all points of politics. But, yeah, again, he says, delivers every day. I don't see the bullet points there. One of the first responses comes from Dr. Kirk saying, you must have missed Biden's force to be reckoned with during the debate, getting 1 like. Walkerton says, what has he delivered, getting 1 like. Juby says, speak for yourself, getting 0 likes. Actually, all these responses are all negative. All of them. Not a lot of likes, but there are a lot of comments getting all roasting him. Let's see. Bill DeMaio says, oh, it's quarterly time. I really want to see Trump's numbers. Biden's are strong. Which, I mean, I kind of think Trump will raise the same, if not more. Because didn't he raise like 300 plus million when he first indicted? That statement did get 58 likes. Again, the U.S. is about 50-50 split, Republican and Democrat. I wouldn't be surprised if they raised about the same amount of funds. Let's see. Mountain Digest says Trump will sweep the election in November, getting 63 likes. Benedict says the only man who can make America great again is Trump, with the, I don't know what you call it, the arrest placard that you hold when you're getting a mugshot, saying don't care, still voting Trump, getting 35 likes. Zena Wilson says don't believe it, even big donors are running, getting 9 likes, which, yeah, that's true. Photoshop picture of Taylor Swift holding a, or not holding, wearing a t-shirt that says nope, not again, with a Trump wig on the O. JD says, oh, nope, not again, t-shirt available here. Got 7 likes though. Let's see here. Oh, 0 likes, 0 likes. Dang G says Carl Bernstein reveals sources, quote, very close to Biden, having concerned about his cognitive decline for more than a year, getting 17 likes. Jonathan Dr. Pratt says main corporations are excited to support Mr. B, getting 6 likes. Michelle Maxwell says wait until they figure out that money can't be transferred to a different candidate, getting 6 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Michael Sharo says 264 is $250 million. And you got 10 likes. It is, I mean, it's technically more than, but it's kind of, I can't believe they got 10 likes. It's not really, it didn't add much, any detail. It's technically more than $250 million, but nevertheless, Sandy says, we need to see how polling has affected us also. Getting 3 likes. Not great. We'll just say that much. Franklin says, awesome. Getting 4 likes. Let's see. Then all these comments. Anthony simply says, what a waste of money. Getting 9 likes. And again, people think Trump's going to win a blowout. I mean, no matter what, again, the U.S. is about 50-50 split. And again, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, there's a lot of time and a lot of things can happen between now and election day. So you really don't know how much money is going to be raised, what kind of social media things might go viral. So again, that's a lot of capital. That's a lot of money used to get a lot of people to get out the vote, some might say, or just get people registered, or do ballot harvesting, which in some states is legal. So fundraising is one of the key components of winning an election. So let me know in the comments. Do you think Trump will actually out fundraise Biden, or Biden will out fundraise Trump? Let me know. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Oh, apologies there. Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Costco settling for $2 million over a lawsuit around flushable wipes. Class action lawsuit did not go well for them. This is brought to us thanks to Fox Business, which is somehow still in business. I'm pretty sure I'm 85% of their network traffic these days. I'm only partially just. This is from Pilnar Arias, who's a writer over there. They say, quote, Costco flushable wipes settle a wholesale giant agreement to $2 million payout. Costco does not admit any wrongdoing, agrees to pay $2 million to resolve false advertising class action lawsuit. Which, yeah, that's one of those things where if you ask just pretty much anyone in the plumbing industry, there's no such thing as a flushable wipe. It's BS. It literally, they don't properly dissolve. I've never met a single industry professional that says, oh yeah, you can actually do that. It is BS advertising, which is why I'm surprised that Costco didn't do their research and they slap that label onto their marketing, onto their packages. Now, article says, quote, people who purchase Kirkland Signature Moist Flushable Wipes from Costco in the past may be eligible for a piece of $2 million class action lawsuit. The payments are for consumers who purchased the wipes between July 1st, 2011 and May 31st, 2017, according to top class actions, which, again, I'm not sure how much your time is worth. And I don't know if you have to pull up a receipt from back then, but I can't help but think no one is actually going to get paid out on this except lawyers. Now, they say Costco is not admitting any wrongdoing. However, the company agreed to pay $2 million to resolve it. Quote, the plaintiffs claim flushing them can cause damage to the pipes, septic system, sewage lines, and other plumbing. Consumers argued that they would not purchase the wipes if they knew they were not truly flushable as advertised, which I won't say it's BS too, but none of them are. Now, Costco members can receive $1.30 per purchased product with a minimum payment of $7.50 and a maximum payment of $55.90, which equates to 43 products. Proof of purchase is not required, really, to receive payment. The deadline to submit a valid claim must be made on the website by August 9th, which interesting. So proof of purchase is not required. You just have to sign an affidavit or a legal document saying you're swearing you actually did buy it. Now, they say that Alexander Krauss, a maintenance worker working in Kenosha Water Utility, does not believe there's such thing as a flushable wipe, considering how well intact they are when he encounters them in the sewers. He says, quote, they cling onto any small deposits or points where tree roots make their way into the sewer laterals. It's just a matter of time before backup occurs, especially from apartment complexes. There's a little picture of that little flushable wipes right there. He said that most of the work, his work is clearing backups due to wipes can be done by flushing the pipe, which is about an hour job, but the work is, quote, stopgap until the clog's up, and we're out to do it all over again. Which, ridiculous to say the least. And of course, again, it looks like they even have pictures on the website saying never flush more than one wipe at a time. Again, none of these things actually work. So yeah, again, in terms of the long run, settling does save you money in terms of time, lawyers, and negative PR over the long term are usually not very attractive for investors or shareholders of a company. So there's a reason why it's more advantageous for companies to settle. But the fact that they even try to sell this to be going through so many, this has been a joke for a decade now in terms of these products not actually working and causing damage to the pipes. Gotta say, Costco, of all the things you've done, having this false advertising, that certainly has to be the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.